Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Keneiloe Myoli, and if you're here for the first time, welcome. I hope that you will like it and will consider subscribing on the red button down below to become part of my growing beautiful family. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. I really appreciate you guys. So today is a special day for the girly. I'm going for a podcast interview. The name of the podcast is Evolution Space Chats with Divinity. It's in partnership with Sowetan Live. I don't think I've mentioned it, but Zuzu and I did an article with Sowetan Live in late last year, and the article got published in December. It was about premature babies and having premature birth and the after effects thereof. So it was quite nice that we had an opportunity to do that, and we got invited to do it. And that we got approached to do an article like that. I'm really passionate about mommy content, as many of you may know, and my story and Zuzu, I've spoken about on the channel a lot, that I had placenta previa, hence he was born early, and it was quite risky for the both of us. One or both of us could have actually lost our lives had something went wrong. But by the grace of God, we made it. So I got approached 2 weeks ago to get interviewed at the podcast, and they wanted me to go the following week, and I felt like it's too short notice. So I asked them for today, which is just over a week and a half later. So I'm quite excited. I'm not really sure what the topic is. I know that they talk about spirituality, healing, acceptance, and purpose. So it will revolve around those 4 themes, but I don't know the exact topic that we will be discussing today. I'm holding my phone with my hand. I actually need my tripod, but I took it with me. I hope that I'll be able to vlog like some of the experience or part of the experience. And yeah, man. So I feel like I'm a Sowetan girly now. I thought that this would be a perfect opportunity to grow my brand. I'm trying to build like a name here for myself, and it will definitely, I'm thinking it will expose me to more people, and also I get to share my story with more people as well, and hope that it will touch people's lives in different ways. I know sometimes I've been accused of oversharing, but in my oversharing, or in our oversharing as content creators, we are helping someone, even if it's one person, you guys. I remember one of my closest friends recently said, you shared too much in a particular video, and I'm like, well, I'm hoping you'll help someone. And literally a few weeks later, someone sent me a DM and mentioned how I'm giving them hope because they're in the same situation, you know. So at the end of the day, I'm just trying to share my story, share knowledge, educate others so that they don't have to struggle like I did, and yeah, and maybe inspire someone as well. If I can do it, then someone else can definitely do it. If it can happen to me, it can definitely happen to you as well. So yeah, the place is in Parktown. I'm gonna go Uber to the train station, and then take the train to Park and take a bus from Park to Parktown, hopefully Uber back. I live quite far as well, and you know, guys, I can't drive that far, like it's too far. So let's go. I'm not late. What time is it now? It's 9 o'clock. The interview's at 11, but I don't know. I know it's gonna take me 30 minutes with the train to get to Park Station. The problem is the bus, because it's off peak hours, so it might take a while. But if I'm really late, I'll have to Uber and see how it works on Backstation. I don't think it's the safest though, so I'm really trying to avoid that option. So yeah, guys, let's go. I'll ask them if I can vlog the experience there. Hopefully they say yes. Also, I really love this outfit. I'm wearing my blue jeans and brown boots. I wish I had a mirror that I can show you guys, but Zukanye, oh, he breaks everything these days, so I definitely can't buy like a long mirror. I wanted one for specifically for the wall. I'm blabbing. Let's go. Guys, I've just arrived at Park Station. I'm now heading to the bus. Hopefully I find a bus and it leaves on time. Otherwise I'm gonna have to Uber. I'm not sure if it's safe to do so from here, but we'll see. Check you guys when you get to the venue as well. On a cloud with you like horizon. With you tonight is on an island. It's about time for making up. Found you wasn't with me waking up. If I said I couldn't miss your touch, I needed to distance myself from you. Oh, just to know you want you. So I come close, I want you. Can I tell you something for what it's worth? If you had it, place on earth, take you there, I'll take you. Show you something, give you more than words. If you had it, place on earth. Guys, I've arrived at the reception. I think I'm so nervous now that I'm here. Let's see. Okay, yeah, arrived. Another woman that can take your spotlight. If I wrote you a symphony just to say how much you mean to me, what would you do? If I told you you were beautiful, would you take me on the...
It's already on. So you usually say like a thumb to pinky distance between the mic and your mouth. But I think the most important thing also is just to make sure that you keep a almost like consistent distance, so that you're not like too close or not too far away. So you can move it around and get it to a comfortable position. Can I put this here? Yes. It's not in your face. No. Not in your... Is it producer's face? Okay, I won't record the entire thing. It's just
Snippets.
Yes.
That's fine. Well, then I think you might also be taking some on his side.
Is it fine like this, or should it be set back?
I think yes, sit back so that you can be more comfortable. Yeah. Don't mind the chairs. They are a bit wiggly.
Yes.
Wiggly. Yeah, this mic Bulelana today. What did you do to it? It feels weird.
So he was hearing everything you were saying.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, the things he hears, Shem.
Yes.
Nothing too freaky though, I'm sure. He's like,
can't gossip about it.
Okay, whenever you are ready, Bulelana, let me know. Hello, welcome to Evolution Space Chats with myself, Divinity Khoji. Thank you so much for joining us for yet another episode. And today we are talking postpartum depression. Now, while pregnancy is a beautiful experience for most women, and most women look forward to getting pregnant, giving birth to their babies and bonding, you know, most of us have an almost like fantasy image of what the journey is going to be like. It doesn't always go like that, and it's something that we
cannot always really foresee. And that's why I think it's such an important conversation to have, so that anybody else who is actually going through it or has been through it, or even if you haven't, it's just something to be really aware of. And if there are any ways to better equip ourselves for the things that we are going to face. And then I always think that it's always the best approach. And today in studio, I've got with me Keneiloe Myoli. Hi, Keneiloe.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm okay, thanks, and you?
I'm well, thank you. So let's get into the conversation and maybe just start off telling us a bit about yourself. Who is Keneiloe?
Keneiloe is firstly a wife and I have 2 boys now. I am a mom, content creator, YouTuber, and an entrepreneur as well.
An entrepreneur.
Yeah,
as well.
And I'm originally from Bloom, currently residing in Pretoria with my family.
Okay.
In a nutshell. That's Keneiloe.
And so you've mentioned that you're a mother of 2 boys now.
Yes, I gave birth about 6 weeks ago to my second born.
Oh, 6 weeks ago. Oh,
Yes.
cute.
Yes.
So he's still cute. It's a he, right?
Yes,
it's
a
a cute
he.
little bundle still.
Yes.
Okay, and you've had an experience with postpartum depression.
I did.
Was it with both your children or just one of them?
So far, it's just one of them.
Okay.
The first one. The second one, everything is still going fine. Yeah.
So I think just to give a little bit of context also for somebody who's listening and perhaps hasn't gone through postpartum but has had or heard the term before. So postpartum refers to the period after birth.
Yes.
And so I've heard that it's quite normal for new moms to feel some baby blues, and they either feel sad and they're down, and it usually would last maybe for like a couple of days, maybe 2 to 3 days. But if it lasts longer than that, it goes on for weeks, and then there's a chance that one is going through postpartum depression. And what was the journey and the experience like for you?
For me, initially, I was okay, or I thought I was okay. But I was sad most of the time.
And this is after you had
given birth? That was after I gave birth.
So before giving birth, you were fine. You enjoyed your pregnancy.
Yes, I enjoyed my pregnancy. I was healthy. I was working out. Yeah, I think my pregnancy I really enjoyed a lot. That's why I didn't mind falling pregnant again. And then I gave birth, and a few days, the day we were getting discharged, my son had jaundice, and we had an option. We were given an option of getting hospitalized or having treatment from home. So we thought getting treatment from home was better. So I think that's where the postpartum started, because it was quite tough putting the baby under lights 24 hours at home, because he had to be on a nappy under the blue lights. He had to have glasses on all the time, otherwise it might have caused blindness. So I think that's where it started, because I literally had to watch him 24 hours. The only time I was allowed to remove him was for feeds and nappy changes, which were supposed to be every 3 hours. But because he was so fussy, crying all the time, he was pulling off the glasses. I'm thinking, oh my word, he might turn blind. So I think that caused me a lot of stress. And the husbands only get 10 days paternity leave. So he wasn't with me, and I didn't have anyone helping me. My grandmother was around, but she's really not into small babies, but I only realized that later. But she helped with everything else but the baby. So I really, really struggled with the baby by myself. So I think that's where it started. I remember the one day I just sat and I started crying. And she came from the other room. She's like, what's wrong? And I couldn't talk. And then she just quickly took the baby for the first time from me. And I'm thinking, why hasn't she been helping all along? So that was my journey. My husband, like, I was agitated. I didn't want to talk to anyone. And also another thing was I was always in the bedroom with the baby. So I think also that was a bit too much for me.
Even for with babies that are born healthy, nothing wrong, it's always an anxiety and a stress for new moms, because you're still figuring out how to take care of this new little child. Like you're saying, there's these feeding times that are so close to each other. It's almost like a whole mission on its own.
It is.
But now the baby's unwell and there's just additional pressure and stress.
So the breastfeeding also was a bit stressful because, like, he was not latching properly. Now he has to supplement with formula. So it was just everything happening at once. So it was quite stressful for me, and I thought I had everything under control until I went to see my gynae and for my 6 weeks appointment, and he said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "I am." And he said, "No baby blues." And I started crying again. I'm even getting teary now thinking about it. And he was like, "No, Keneiloe, don't you want to see a psychologist that can refer you?" And I was like, "No, I'm okay." And he said, "I'm really, really worried about you. Do you have help?" And I think at the time my grandmother was gone. So I was alone with baby. And he said, "No, you really need to get extra hands. You need some sleep. When last did you sleep?" And I remember I hadn't slept in a very long time.
Okay, and then what your gynae suggested that you go for therapy and that you get additional help, and how did that look like, that conversation with your husband and your family maybe?
When my gynae, when he suggested, I thought I'm okay. I thought I don't need therapy. I'll just get extra hands. So I did get someone to come in like a few times a week to help me so that I can rest and she can help with baby. So that was a game changer for me because I was able to sleep for a few hours during the day.
We take it for granted.
Yes. So I definitely got extra hands, and that helped me a lot.
And when was your baby born?
Which one?
The first one.
He was born in October 2019.
Okay, and you started speaking about it publicly because your video is in 2021.
Yeah. Yes. It's also at the time I didn't have my channel, but I was speaking about it to people that are close, like my mom. After my grandmother left, my mom came, and my mom could tell that I'm not okay. And
mothers tell.
Yes, she did. And I remember she sat me and my husband down when my maternity leave was about to end, when baby was about 3 months or so. She said, "My child's not gonna make it. Like, she needs help."
And so you're saying that you were about to go back to work.
Yes.
That's the time your mom had this conversation with you and
yes.
Happy. And were you feeling ready to go to work?
No.
Were you feeling ready to face the world and additional things, additional responsibilities?
Definitely not. I was very overwhelmed. Also, I didn't know, now I'm leaving baby with this person and I have to go back to work immediately. Like, can I trust her with the baby? It was a lot. I wasn't happy.
How did you handle that? How did you deal with it?
So we got someone that was recommended by family, and we got a few things like cameras inside the house, and also I had to extend my leave, I think, for like an extra 2 weeks, just so I can train her and be comfortable to leave her with the child. And once I was back at the office, she would video call me, or I would video call her, just check up on them. Is everything still fine? I think that's how I got rid of the anxiety of leaving baby with someone else. Someone inside our house, especially.
Your own private space.
So I had to take extra time off to make sure I can actually trust her with baby and she knows what she's doing. And baby's used to her as well. Yes.
And then, so how did you then better take care of yourself? You know, you have the help, but now you're also going back to work. How did you find ways to, because have you only got it like 2 years later, after?
Yes, sorry,
so how did you better take care of yourself? Because I believe that yes, it's important that we take care of ourselves during what we're going through, but that it can't be an isolated kind of an action. We need to create a lifestyle that is that is a space for us to live and
Yes.
kind of not manage but sort of deal with the everyday challenges that we go through, because there's also triggers that will come every now and again, and as much as you're taking the extra leave and the extra time off to make sure that you feel a little bit better about the situation at home and leaving baby with the helper, but I'm sure every now and again it would be like,
Yes.
that little scare would come.
Yes.
So what did you do, or how did you better take care of yourself from then?
I tried to not only be a mom. So again, after my mom arrived, I think maybe when baby was about 2 months, she was like, go out, go get some fresh air. So I started going out, going to gym. After my 6 weeks, somewhere there, appointment, I started working out. Because I had a C-section, I had to wait for the 6 weeks. I started doing solo dates during the day when my mom is there with the nanny. So I think just doing things that I used to love doing before I had baby, that's how I started like feeling like my old self again. So I started prioritizing my time. Sometimes even if I am with baby at home, I would just lock myself in the room and have like an extra hour to myself without having to worry about the baby. If the baby's crying, there's someone else will pick up the baby. In the past, like, I would be the first one to jump and be like, this is my child. So I used to be like okay with someone else assisting me, because I think I had a problem with other people assisting me. I still do, but I'm trying to trust. I'm learning to trust other people with baby as well.
Yeah, so trust has become a big part of your healing journey.
Yes, definitely.
And so when do you think you completely got over the postpartum depression? Is there a time that you could say, pinpoint and say, at this point I knew?
I think so, but baby was way older.
Really?
He was in the toddler stages. It was in the toddler stages, because even if you do have help, it's your child at the end of the day. So you're the first person to jump, like I said. At night, I can't always wake up someone else and say, help me with baby. So it was a lot for me, unexpectedly. I really wasn't expecting to struggle like I did. It took over a year for me to be okay. That's why when my husband was like, baby number 2, I was like, definitely not. Definitely not. I don't mind being pregnant. It's just what happened afterwards.
Yes.
That was traumatic for me. So definitely after baby was 1. And then you will have those triggers, like you said, like even after that age, and then you have to remind yourself, rest, ask your husband to help you, because at some point we stop having help again. So it's just the 2 of us. You just have to remind yourself, like, no, it's really important to just ask him. And sometimes it's not that people don't want to help you, you're just not asking. That's what happened with me. Like, I wouldn't ask anyone for help, and I'd be the only one crying and struggling with baby when I have other people that can assist me with the child.
I think sometimes we feel that we want to portray also the image of, we've got this.
Yes,
we
superwoman. Superwoman. Yes.
I gave birth to this child, so I can handle this child, and I can do everything on my own.
Yes.
So how did you so have you brought up second baby the first time, and you were like, nope, not too keen?
No. We had spoken about it before I even gave birth, like when I have this age gap. He was ready immediately after the first one was born, and I was like, there's no way. And then I asked for a year. I said, can we wait for a year and then we'll have this conversation again? And then when the year came, I was like, no, we're not doing this. But he agreed also. Our son was a handful, and he agreed. He's like, no, maybe not now. And I think we had a conversation again when he was about a year and a half, close to 2. That's when we had the conversation again, and I was like, yeah, maybe. Yes.
And did you feel like there's anything that you needed to do to kind of arm yourself up and get ready in case again the same thing happens?
I think it was more mentally than anything. My son I was getting used to being a mom. We had like a routine. He was talking and walking, and things were sort of in order at home. So I wanted to feel like this guy, by the time he's 3, then maybe we can introduce someone else. I just felt like mentally I can take it as well. And like fall pregnant in the state that I was before the age 1.5. So I think it was that I felt like he's a bit grown and I could also take it again. Yes.
Okay. And what would you say comes up to mind when we talk about the concept of holding up space? How can mothers hold up space for themselves better? How can our families hold up space for newborn mothers better? What comes to mind when we talk about the concept of holding up space, particularly referring or having in mind new mothers and what they go through?
Yes. I think we need to, as mothers, prioritize ourselves. I think we give so much of ourselves that we tend to neglect ourselves and focus on everyone else but us. And I think with families we need to learn how to communicate with them as well. We need to be more vocal about our needs and what we want, because at the end of the day, raising kids is not just about the mothers, it's a whole community. If possible, I think I didn't have that initially. Had I had that, it would have made a difference.
So it's important then that I think for the people that are around us to just take extra notice.
Yes, to pay more attention.
Maybe
ask, like, are you okay? Like, are you really okay? Because I think that's when people get me, when they start asking, like my gynae, like he said, are you okay? I said yes, and he said no baby blues, and I said no, and he said, are you sure? That's when, you see. So had he said, are you okay? And I said, I'm fine, things would have continued as per normal, even though he could see that I'm not okay. But for him to just like ask, are you sure? Do you need assistant? That's when I broke down. But had he left it at that, I'd probably didn't make any changes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me
and sharing your story with us. I think the key thing that comes out for me out of what you're saying is that it's important to have community, it's important to have support and people that are around us, so that we don't carry the load on our own and we don't carry the burden on our own. And as much as you don't see having a baby as a burden and you don't see it as work, it actually really is. And we need to be able to ask for help. But if the people aren't there for us to ask help from to begin with, then it becomes even harder. So support and community is so important for us to do life in general.
It is.
This podcast is available on Sowetan Live as well as your favorite podcast platform. Till next week.
So short. It was so short.
It was
not ready.
It was, but I think we touched on the important
stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's what's important, because also I think that's why I always say 30 minutes to 45, because 30 minutes is enough sometimes to get everything that you need to get, and there's just no point in dragging it out.
Also, people can stop listening at some point if
it's too long and it's winded. But thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. Was I the only person for the day?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, the only person for the day. I think I've got another one on Wednesday.
Hold me till I scream forever, and wash me over until my will runs dry. Send all your sins all over me, baby, baby.
Hey guys, I'm back home and what a lovely interview. I really enjoyed myself. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I'm gonna link the video where I was talking about my postpartum depression up here somewhere on the cards. Please do check it out. I think I'm probably not gonna add the whole clip. I'll see how I feel about it. Yeah man, but here's to many more interviews. Here's to many more lives being changed, and here's to touching more lives and encouraging other people and letting other people know that they are not alone in this whole journey. Thank you so much for watching this video, and until the next one, bye you guys.
Talk to me nice.